within any given cast macro, there is a variable box that basically determines what the spell is going to target. If it's going to target a friend, an enemy, your focus, or a mouse over. Those are just some examples. This is a very simple variable that doesn't really require much explanation, but it does come in handy. The exists variable checks whether or not there is actually a focus, mouse over, or an actual target. If that particular target, focus, or whatever doesn't exist, it will move on to the next variable box, or it will just stop casting the spell, period, if that target doesn't exist. Here's a macro I think that demonstrates the concept very well. This / cast macro first checks whether a focus target exists, and if the focus doesn't exist, it moves on to the player's mouse over. And if the mouse over target doesn't exist, it moves on to the player's actual current target, and if that target doesn't exist, it casts the spell on the player instead. So it's using the exist variable to prioritize targets, putting focus above mouse over and target, putting mouse over above target and player, and putting target over the player himself. But if the target, mouse over, and focus do not exist, it will cast it on the player instead. That is a very rudimentary outline of the exists variable, but I'm sure you can come up with some really creative ways to use it. All it does is check whether or not that target exists. For more macros, check out MMORig.com.